Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be comparing the GMC Sierra AT4X HD to the AT4 to see which roughly $100,000 GMC truck you should buy. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Provo GMC for giving me some time with both of the trucks. I'll include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So powering the AT4 is the 6.6 liter Duramax diesel that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 470 horsepower and then 975 pound-feet of torque. And with the AT4X, you have the same powertrain under the hood. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the front end of the AT4, this is actually what the AT4X front end pretty much looks like if you don't have the AEV edition package like this truck has, which I think is a pretty cool looking front end. You can see lots of body painted elements, lots of blacked out elements as well, including the headlight bezel, for example, and you got the red tow hooks there at the bottom. So yeah, definitely in your face with the styling. And then you guys can see here with the AT4X, again, you can get this AEV package on it, or you can just have it look like this AT4. So you've got options with the AT4X. I really do like the AEV package because this bumper just looks fantastic on the truck, and it's super practical as well because it's got really sturdy recovery points, and that's going to be able to handle off-roading quite a bit better than, well, that fancy painted bumper. Now around the side here with the AT4, tire wheel setup is 275, 65, 20 in the front and over in the rear, whereas with the AT4X, it's 305, 70, 18 in the front and over in the rear. So yeah, definitely got chunkier tires here on the AT4X and smaller diameter wheels, so you've got a little bit more sidewall, whereas again, still decent sidewall on this tire, but you've got a bigger wheel. And again, these are all-terrain tires. You can just see the knobs are not nearly as chunky as what you have here on the AT4X. Now, something else to note, you guys can see here with the AT4, you've got the Rancho shocks, whereas with the AT4X, you've got the Multimatic shocks, which not only look cooler, but it looks like with the suspension setup on this and the shocks and everything, it sits higher in terms of, I'm not talking about just the tire, but like the gap between the tire and the wheelhouse liner, it looks like it's a little bit bigger, and hopefully you guys can kind of see that here. But yeah, the AT4X definitely, again, it has a slightly bigger tire, not that much bigger, but it does sit taller overall. And then taking a look at the suspension in the back, you guys can see again with the Multimatic shocks and the leaf springs. And notice since the AT4 can be had in a 3500 package, you got the extra leaf there in the back. And then when it comes to the rest of the styling here, again with this AEV package, you guys can see the rear bumper you get with this as well looks fantastic. Of course, got the AEV badging. And then this is probably the best thing to look at it. Look at the fender flares here. With both of them, it looks like the ones on the AT4X are just a little bit chunkier compared to the AT4. It's not a huge difference, but there is a difference. And then again, on the AT4, everything is painted here with this truck, so it kind of has more of that like luxury appearance, whereas this, it definitely looks more rugged. And this takes us inside of the trucks. Also, power side set, that's nice. So with the AT4, you've got like brown here, really nice material use. I do want to emphasize payload. So 3,650 pounds on the AT4, and their towing capacity is 20,000 pounds. And you can see again with the seats, just like any other AT4. You got the advanced four-wheel drive system, all of our light controls. Again, this is going to be a carryover with both the trucks. They're going to have very similar equipment on that front. That's pretty cool. Let's see how this sounds. Nice closing. Got the big digital gauge cluster. You've got GM's upgraded steering wheel with, you know, the heated steering wheel function on it. You've got your cruise control, radio controls on the back. We've got stuff like heated and ventilated seats. You've got hill descent control. Now this has the G80 rear locking differential, so it's not selectable. The truck will do it by itself. And then if we pop it into reverse, 360 camera system as well. And then this also has the rear view camera mirror. But again, a big thing is just the trim differences inside. So you just kind of see the theme with the brown and the black here, AT4 there. That's kind of the biggest difference. And then also just pay attention to the seats, because the bolstering on them I think is a little bit different. But yeah, let's go pop in the AT4X. And popping into the AT4X, we also have power side steps, which is definitely a nice feature. You can see with the trim, it's kind of like softer with the surface, smoother, you might say. There, different coloration, that's for sure. And then payload, 2,576 pounds, and then when it comes to towing, 18,500 pounds. So again, 2,500 versus 3,500. AEV there in the headrest, which is pretty cool. So now looking at the bolstering, it's actually the same shape. It's just the material use is a lot different, so it makes it just look different. Massaging seats with the AT4X, which is pretty cool. All the same stuff here, and closer. Yeah, nice sound, just like the AT4. And you can see this is all a carryover. I mean, you even have the same 360 camera system, all of that. But a big difference is, we can roll down all the windows at once. No, we have a selectable rear locking differential. So instead of having the G80 system, selectable, still have the heated seats, all of that, and cooled seats. And then you can see with the dash, again, just kind of different with the overall appearance inside. So again, big difference in materials. And then you do have a premium headliner here, whereas the AT4 just has a regular cloth. Now, when it comes to pricing, this AT4X with the AEV package stickers for over $104,000, whereas this AT4 3500 stickers for just under $89,000. Well, let's set off in the AT4 first, and then we'll drive the AT4X second and see if it feels like it is worth the extra money in terms of the driving experience. I will say the seats in the AT4 here are a little bit harder than the seats in the AT4X. Double check when I sit back in that one, but yeah, I think those seats are a little bit more comfortable, even though the padding and the bolstering and everything looks pretty much identical with the trucks. Easy to drive so far. We're just in we don't need, we're just in two-wheel drive. We don't need four-wheel auto or four-wheel high or anything like that today. But smooth with the powertrain performance. I think the progression here on the brake pedal, it's pretty good. Just like a little bit spongier though, like most HD trucks tend to be, but it's not obnoxious whatsoever. And I think overall, just looking at this interior, it's nice. They've got, obviously there is some plastic points and everything, but they've got quite a bit of soft touch, and it's got a nice appearance. Good torque. Very smooth. Yeah, really smooth. And when it comes to the suspension, that's going to be the biggest difference. So I'm kind of paying attention on this road quite a bit, just so I can compare back to back. And obviously the slightly, beefier tires on the AT4X are going to help out a little bit with the ride comfort, but shocks should also do something. I mean, this drives like a 3500 HD truck. It's, for what it is, it's pretty dang comfortable, but yeah, you've got a little bit of a bumpier ride. And it seems like the Rancho shocks with the little compression point, they're not really they're doing something, but they're not doing all that much. I think that'll be the biggest difference between the shocks on this and the shocks on the AT4X. But with that being said, a little acceleration here. Yeah. Let's go jump in the AT4X. AT4X away, I will say, instantly feel taller, and the seats are more comfortable. It's not like an insane difference, but they are more comfortable, and they also have massage function, so like double with the comfort because of that. But let's see kind of how this, can already feel right off the bat a little bit squishier with the suspension, in a good way, It's definitely smoother with the ride. I can actually feel the difference in terms of, because it's slightly bigger tires, you can feel the power difference to the ground with moving these bigger tires. I think that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. But yeah, it moves them no problem. Still has almost 1,000 pound-feet of torque, right? Yeah, the suspension's definitely more comfortable in this. Like going over these bumps here in this road, same thing. You feel things quite, and it's not just the back end, right? I understand the 3500 has the extra leaf and that's gonna cause a little bit of harshness in the back end, but it's also the front end of the truck. The front end of the truck's also a bit more comfortable over all these little bumps and everything in the road. Fascinating. So yeah, it does drive better in my opinion. But obviously you have the sacrifice of payload, and so that's also why I wanted to do 3500 versus 2500, because again, you cannot get the AT4X in a 3500 yet. So, you know, it's just gonna depend. Like, if you're gonna get 2500, I think go AT4X. I understand that this has less payload than an AT4 2500, but my thought is, if you're gonna go AT4, you wanna go 3500, you might as well get the most amount of payload out of the truck that it is offered. And so that's really what it comes down to. If 2,500 pounds of payload is enough, if this has enough towing for you, then yeah, I would rather have this because I think it looks cooler, I think it drives better. But yeah, if you need more capability, then that's where the AT4 comes in. It's a little bit more practical at the truck stuff, but this is not impractical. This is still a very capable pickup truck. But let me know your thoughts.